Yeah, we differ on we both. Yeah. It definitely is one of the first things that I think both of us look for in a candidate. We studied pretty closely their different plans for Iraq, and it's easy for us, when they say, oh, we're going to bring 4 brigades home by, Christmas. For us, we can imagine exactly how many deployed soldiers that is. So it's especially easy for us to look at numbers and see, how many are we actually talking about having come home, how many are we actually talking about being in Iraq, and, how overall is that going to work as a strategy. And so I think that's one of the first things that both of us actually look at when we look at who we're going to vote for.
Yeah. I mean, it affects our lives so directly.
I'm not sure. I know it's costing us a lot, and that not as much as going to education and healthcare.
Everybody, actually not very many people are well aware of the fact that George Bush was dipping into the Social Security monies. They're going to try to fund this war no matter how they can in order to make themselves seem and appear as if this is a very, very important part of the world.
If you imagine all the money that had been dumped in Iraq war or Afghanistan war, if you imagine that that money could have been used right now in our economy, in our budget, education budget, how could help millions of people in America to just educate or get health care.
Our food prices and stuff are going up and our income's not, so I don't know how it won't affect our future even more. We're spending billions of dollars over there as it is, so it's just not going back into our economy.
I think there's going to be problems with the financial stability of the country based on loans that we have that are paying for the war.
Basically, we have to spend money to clean up what we started over there and fix everything that we kind of ruined. Because, I mean, if we don't, who else is going to? We started the problem, we have to finish it, so taxes are going to go up, and then gas prices, oil prices are going way up too, which is affecting a lot of people.
I think financially, we'll have a set scale of pay with his career, just like I will with teaching, and so it'll just kind of go along those lines, which is kind of nice in the fact that, during a time where the rest of the country is having really hard economic situations, we know that he'll have a career and that it'll be a job that'll be needed for quite a while. So that's kind of nice in that it provides some sense of financial security, but there's definitely kind of a trade-off in the fact that his job will kind of require a little bit more time, and it has a level of danger that most other jobs don't necessarily have along with them. So,
I mean, that gets into a pretty political debate as far as like fuel prices and petroleum. So I definitely think the war is probably going to decrease my income as far as financially and personally. However, like I said, I am part of the military, so I do have steady benefits and a steady income, so I won't be affected that way.
We were in health class together, and I thought he was cute. He knew that at that time I was kind of at the end of seeing someone else, and so he kind of didn't really do anything to try to move in. And then that summer, my best friend was in Fred Meyer's with his other friend. They were all talking, and she was on the phone. And I was like, who are you talking to? And she goes, oh, I'm talking to Derek. And I was like, oh, I think he's so hot. And I was like, no. And she, of course, turned to him and goes, my friend Megan's on the phone, and she thinks you're so hot. And I almost just died. Diana actually arranged for us all to go to the 4th of July fireworks show together, and that's the first night that we really hung out. And the first night that we had our first kiss. And after that, like 2 weeks later, I think you asked me to be your girlfriend. And then ever since. We are getting married July 11th, 2009. So next summer, right after graduation. Yeah. Okay.
So
our ROTC program is one of the bigger...
It's one of the better programs, in the Northwest especially.
And then with that, obviously if you have more cadets being trained to be officers, then you will have a higher kind of percentage of deployment. The ROTC program at Oregon State is extremely strong, and I think it definitely kind of, for those who are interested in pursuing a military career, I think it definitely draws them to the university in the fact that they know that we do have a good program for them to enter into.
You ask, do they recognize the military properly? And, I'm not sure if properly is maybe in a way of respect. I think they recognize who we are, and I'd hope they'd have understanding of what we do and why we do it, but not everyone does.